I'm so glad you could join me. My name's Pixie. I make videos about art and books. But I wanted to talk to you about feelings today. And it's not just because my therapist is on vacation, although maybe that's part of the reason. I just think a lot about these things. But I am drawing, as you can see. I have taken to do a lot of still life sketching with ballpoint pens recently, and that's been really fun. I've been feeling a bit tired mentally, and so I've been feeling weird about painting, but drawing a still life is such a old faithful activity because just drawing things is fun, and when I draw things it makes me feel better. Speaking of feeling better, I wanted to talk today about not feeling like you're good enough, because that's something I struggle with a lot, and I know it's super common. I think it's something almost everyone feels to a bigger or lesser extent. And let's address the elephant in the room first. Obviously, it's capitalism. Capitalism forces us to compete against each other, and it makes us isolated and alienated in a way that isn't natural to us. What is natural to us is being part of a community, because we cannot survive without each other. So of course, when we feel like we're being rejected by others, that can feel really awful, because the most primitive instinctive part of your brain knows that you need others to survive. So it's obviously very natural that we are afraid of not being good enough, or that we feel that way when we have been rejected in one way or another. But while this evolutionary programming is obviously designed to help keep us alive, and it's understandable that we have feelings based on circumstances, etc., that doesn't necessarily mean those feelings are true or an accurate reflection of reality or something we should base our actions on. So because I have been in this little art slump kind of recently, I've once again been reading The Creative Path by Carolyn Schlam, and she addresses this "am I good enough" in one of the chapters in this book. It's called Observer/Critic, and is about dealing with criticism and whether or not to show your work. I want to read you this passage from it. It is about art, but I do think it's relevant to anyone. 1. Am I good enough? In this hyper-competitive climate, where there are only a few slots and many artists who want them, the artist can't help but be concerned with this question. We yearn for a definitive answer. The truth is, there is no answer. We all deserve the opportunity to work as artists, and no one, not us nor the critics, know how we will develop and grow. This is unknowable. How much you make of your gifts is yet to be decided, and you may not live long enough to know whether your work has reached others. There is no way you can imagine where your art will be 20 years from now. It might be great, or not. It doesn't matter. Just give it your all, dig the process, get plenty of rest, and enjoy yourself. Hope for the best. Say what you have to say with gusto and with feeling. That has to be and is good enough. 2. Do they like me? They may, and they may not. Some may, and others may not. They may know more than you, and they may know less. Your work may be enjoyed more in the next century, or not. The critics may change their minds. You may never be discovered. You may be discovered. And either way, they could be wrong. All is possible, but it doesn't matter at all. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it as you, as a statement of your life, your intelligence, and your heart, whether they like it or not. If they like it, you will be pleased. If not, you will go on anyway. End quote. Now, I love this quote as an artist because it emphasizes that the important thing is the process of making and enjoying yourself and expressing your truth. But if we're talking beyond the realm of art and just the general feeling of not being good enough to, like, I don't know, be a funny and nice and caring friend, being a good child to your parents, being good at your job, good enough for something that you don't even know what it is, because I quite often feel like I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know what that would be. This good enough is almost all of the time unquantifiable. It's not defined, it's nothing concrete. And for all of that, to combat it, I find so much comfort in the phrase, if not, you will go on anyway. Like, if you're not good enough for whatever arbitrary goalpost you've set for yourself, if you don't reach that goalpost that you would probably be moving if you reached it anyway, you will go on anyway. You will go on and do your thing with gusto and with feeling. And that is enough. Back to the drawing. I am drawing a knife, and I would advise not to read too much into that. But I did want to say about it that I've had this knife since I was a child. I got it to use for wood carving, and you do not need to worry. I was taught knife safety, and I practiced it, and I never cut myself with this knife as far as I can remember. I think I've actually cut myself on accident more as an adult than I did when I was younger. I think, this is my theory, that I chose to draw it because it's got a fun mix of round and pointy shapes. But since we have the knife here, maybe we can say, let's cut self-doubt out of our lives. Let's cut out those thoughts of not being good enough. I may not be profitable to a capitalist or directly helping people around me in their daily lives. I may not be praised for any great contributions to humanity, but I am a human, and I try to be nice to people I meet, and I try to make nice things that will evoke good feelings. And that's good enough. Being a person is good enough. Another art advice that can be applied to life pretty effectively is from my drawing teacher at art school. He said, do what you can with what you have. And I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you for spending time with me and listening to this. Share your feelings below if you want. I will listen and say something nice. Regardless, take care of yourself until I see you next time. Also, I have links below. You can be my friend on social media. I post silly things on TikTok. I have an Etsy shop with prints of my more positive and hopeful art than this sketch. And I have a Patreon where you can get an exclusive video every month and stickers and prints and a commission if you want to wait 6 months. But then it's also cheaper than a regular commission. So that's cool. Anyway, it's all down there, and I appreciate any and all support very, very much. And have a glass of water if you haven't had a glass of water in a while. And I will see you next time. Bye.